All right, so in the midst of the what is apparently referred to as a bomb cyclone, this winter storm, I'm doing a little project on the H3. I'm going to hook up one of these little LED pod lights to be an assist when I back up in reverse. The first decision I had to make, I spent quite a bit of time on this, is do I need to run a relay? Now in general, when you're running lighting, the circuit is a little complicated. You're going to run a relay and you're going to run the switch. So the switch is a low amperage circuit that basically just throws the relay on. It's basically a switch that's controlled by a remote switch. And then that relay has the larger gauge, higher amperage carrying wire for the circuit that powers the light, and that's the little jobber right there. These lights only draw 18 watts. So I really had some soul searching to do. I'm like, 18 watts, that's like 1.5 amps at 12 volts. I mean, it's not worth it. So for 1.5 amps, no, I'm not going to run a relay. And honestly, the way I'm going to wire it, I think it's already on a circuit that's on a fuse and a relay, because I'm going to connect it to the circuit for my trailer plug, which does have the center post on those, and a standard 7-wire plug is the reverse lights. So I went ahead and got the tester out, and as always, when you just remember when you do that work, first test the tester. So first the tester wasn't working. I'm like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work. And then I realized the tester just wasn't making a connection. So I sorted the tester, and then that worked. Now I did actually take the time when I put a 7-wire plug on my M416 to do something with the reverse lights circuit. So that little blackout light that sits on top actually is connected to light up. It's been forever since I've ever looked at it. I don't remember if it still works or not, but I might do something with that too on the trailer. I've got that little utility light there. I'm still debating with myself how I'm going to wire that guy up. So this guy is going to have a switch, and at first I thought, oh, I'll just make that go on when I'm in reverse, and I thought that would really annoy people in traffic. So I'm probably just going to hook it to the 12-volt hot that comes from the car. I think the way I'm going to set that up is have a plug for my camping battery that will be on the same circuit that gets the 12-volt hot from the 7-wire plug. That way I'll have straight DC charging of the camping battery while I'm plugged into the truck, in addition to the solar. And then I'll use that probably as the hot wire for any lighting circuit. So again, there I really won't need a relay, because I'm just coming off the fused and controlled 12-volt out to the trailer. Plus these things draw 1.5 amps, which is diddly squat. So anyway, just if you're curious, what is the bomb? What is it? Bomb cyclone? Yeah. It is actually pretty intense. So it's pretty cold out here, and I don't know if you showed it. I had to get out and get the Suburban, and Ted, the diesel Cruise, couldn't come inside last night, and our son Joe's up for Christmas, and that's a 2-liter turbo diesel Chevy Cruise, and its battery just didn't have enough guts to get the diesel started this morning. But once I put the booster on it, fired up. The Suburban, which the kids affectionately call the Cardus because it's a big blue box, but that's got a block heater, so I've got it plugged in, but I went ahead and ran it as well just to make sure the battery's good when we need to move it. I think it's like 4 below Fahrenheit right now, like 35-mile-an-hour winds, so it is pretty intense. Again, if you're old and you're from the upper Midwest, it's not that big a deal. We've seen far worse, but this is legitimately a winter storm. All right, I think I've got this figured out. I really wanted to put the light right down there, right next to the hitch. I thought, nah, that would be really slick. Doesn't quite fit. And now as we dealing with, do I really want to compromise the heavy plate to mount this cheap little light bracket? Then I realized, now this is some fairly steep fake carbon fiber plastic that Hummer used to use, and I think I'm going to mount the bracket right there, so the brighter LED backup light will be right beneath the normal backup light. Bent the bracket a little bit so that even though that's not flush, the light will point straight back. That little hole is just to access a bolt. So I think I'm going to mount it right there, drop the wire down through that gap, and I think this is going to be all right. All right, well, I'm pleased with the way that worked out. I think that's going to be fine. Now I just have to decide how exactly I want to attack the wiring. The back end of the truck, I learned wiring something on the Weiss truck years ago. I can't remember what it was, maybe a backup camera. You really want to be careful with, actually it was in this truck, it was the low quality conductor used in the cable that I used for the winch connection. I had to do a lot of work to clean that up. You can get a lot of corrosion back here, so I have to make sure that however I run this, I use high quality copper wire and seal all connections extremely well. Alright, well I think that's going to work just fine. I've got 8 or 10 different decisions to make on how I wanted to run the wire. Ultimately tapped off the reverse light hot wire to the trailer. So again, that light only comes on when the truck's in reverse. So I think that was worth it. Again, it's only 1.5 amp draw, so I don't think I'm straining any wiring harnesses. It's actually an 18 gauge wire on there, well, on the light itself. But I think that'll really help. You can kind of see that throws quite a bit of light when I'm trying to back into a trailer or back up on a trailer or something. I think that'll really throw a lot of light and not irritate the car behind me. So, I'm going to tidy everything up, make sure all the connections are sealed, put everything back in the loom, and it should be good. Alright, well that's that. That was a successful little project. Spliced into the factory wiring harness for the 7-wire trailer plug reverse lights, and got that little jobber mounted in a place I like, the wiring routed safely and with good protection, and I think that's really going to help when I'm backing up at night, especially when I'm trying to deal with the trailer. Alrighty then.